Thing About Monsters by David Royce. The thing about monsters is that, as children, we know they're real. We don't dangle our feet off the side of the bed, and we always keep our closets shut tight. Because when we go to sleep, as our minds drift into that nether region, we subconsciously wait for that creak of the closet door, knowing what's inside is made of teeth, claws, and bad intentions. So many tales about children being eaten by such creatures. Even as our parents insist it's all in our imagination, even as we become the ridicule of family for our obviously overtaxed minds, we know the monsters are real. Then we find out about Santa and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. We realize that our parents are liars, so we begin to doubt everything. But let me ask you this. If your parents finally admitted to their malfeasance about Christmas, Easter, and the bones in your mouth falling out for cash, why do we believe their silly claims that monsters aren't real? My monster has been chasing me since I was 8 years old. It's killed so many people. A serial killer's wet dream. All while trying to get at me. For 32 years I've been running, dodging, and looking over my shoulder. I mean every single day. To say this situation has led to problems is like saying Noah experienced a little rain. Why don't you try keeping a job when you flinch and run screaming from someplace because someone or something looks weird? There's a lot of weird looking folks out there, as I discovered. Not all of them are monsters, of course, not even the majority of them. But how would you know if you've not suffered as I have? How about attempting to keep a relationship afloat when all you can think about is, what if this person isn't really real? I've been punched, spit on, and verbally abused just because I couldn't keep my shit together. I got stabbed once by a feisty girlfriend who freaked out when, during our lovemaking, I thought I saw her face morph into something inhuman. I punched her hard. She spit in my face and grabbed a paring knife. I still have the scar. I didn't survive. I escaped. My monster is cold, calculating, and relentless. Its presence shrouds me like a heavy cloak, and I must keep moving. A proper home isn't in the cards for me. Believe me, I've tried. I once lived in a California hippie commune for 3 months, the longest I've stayed anywhere. I thought I was finally free. I relaxed and started to enjoy my life for a change. Plenty of food, plenty of drink, and plenty of free sex. No monster in sight. But there's a saying about the devil getting his due, and I awoke one late morning to a slaughter. My monster found me yet again, and my only friends paid the price with their flesh and blood, while I was left relatively unscathed, except for bits of viscera and blood covering me like a blanket. Why? Yeah, that's a good question. It had me dead to rights, an easy target. I think it was because it wanted to taunt me, tease the inevitable, give me a feeling of safety before going for the kill. Monsters are fucked up like that. They like to play with their food, get the adrenaline flowing. I don't know. Maybe it's how they marinate their meat. Sick bastards. My monster first appeared to me when it crawled on its skinny, boneless arms and legs after leaving my older brother, whose room was next to mine, in a river of blood and guts. It entered my room when I clutched a blanket to my face, after hearing the sounds of screams and rending. It pointed a claw the size of a chef's knife at me as it scuttled to my closet door. Once inside, I broke down. My parents wailed. The case became as cold as a corpse after a couple of years. And that's the way it's been for 30 long years. It's always lurking, ready to kill, just waiting for me to drop my guard again. My fear and loathing are a delicacy, something to be savored. I'm just another piece of marinating flesh. In the meantime, it takes anyone available, letting me know its dominance over me. The last Thanksgiving I spent with my family turned into a bloodbath. We were sitting around the big table with my parents, aunts, uncles, and some cousins. It wasn't a joyous affair, considering the shadow of my brother hanging heavy as lead curtains in the air, even after all this time. But we had more than our fill of turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberries, green bean casserole, and wine. When I left, my old familiar childhood home was an avatar. My mother's head was laying on a platter of leftover turkey, while the rest of my family resembled an impossible puzzle of body parts. My monster was the last thing I saw as I burst through the door, glancing back just once. It was eating an arm of my father, with a smile on his gray, hollowed-out face, incisors tearing bits of flesh off his arm. I never wanted to tell this to anyone. They would think I was crazy. But now's the time because of the sirens and the blue and red lights surrounding my current apartment. The voices are amplified by megaphones. They hurt my head, make me think, make me remember. They say things like, "Come out with your hands up," and "We have you surrounded." Can't they see I'm the victim? This monster has trapped me in its web. It's made me the bad guy, the killer, the creator of these atrocities. Finally, it's savored enough of my fear and pain, and now it's time to reap its reward. The windows break, the door is pummeled. The voices rise in intensity. Samuel Mackey was arrested today on charges stemming back from 30 years ago. It's believed he's responsible for over 40 murders, making him one of the most prolific serial killers of all time. Police say he's killed more than 30 people, including his entire family, over Thanksgiving. The news says, "If they only knew the truth. My monster waits, but in this cell, I've never felt safer." The end.